What's up? My name is Lena Waithe, and I am happy to be answering your questions for Ask a Grown for Rookie. All right, I'm going to answer two questions. I'm going to read them out and try to answer them the best I can. Here we go. First question is from Sammy. It says, how do you develop your identity after high school and make your future years count towards something? That's a really loaded question, so I'll try to keep it short and sweet. Honestly, after high school, the world is your oyster. You can either go to college, take a year off. You could go volunteer. You could really, maybe spend more time with family and friends, before you head off to college. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but I think the biggest thing is to really listen to yourself, take time for yourself, and figure out what it is that you love doing so much that you do it even if nobody pays you to. Because whatever that thing is, you want to lean into as much as you can. And try not to do what other people think you should be doing or tell you should be doing. I think the biggest thing is to drown out all those voices and try to listen to your own. So hopefully that's helpful. But good luck, Sammy. All right, the next question is from Nance. Might be short for Nancy, don't know. We'll go with Nance. All right, so it's a bit of a lengthy question / statement. It goes, for the last 6 months, I've been thinking about two of my female friends in a more romantic, sexual way. One of them is straight, one of them is gay. I've always identified as straight, but increasingly, as more people around me have come out, apparently Nancy's at an all-girls school where they're very LGBTQ friendly, she started to question her own identity. Nothing has ever happened between me and either of the friends, but often when I'm not around them, I start to imagine that something could. I don't think I'm really attracted to either one of them, but I keep returning to these fantasies nonetheless. I worry that I'm just bored or looking for any available outlet for sexual desires and somehow mistreating my friends through these fantasies. I also worry that the trope of curious straight girl experimenting undermines the legitimacy of other people's more real queer feelings, and so I'm really reluctant to mention this to the queer friends I have and trust. Look, you're 18, so I think you're really in a very critical time in your life trying to figure out, what you're attracted to or who you are, and your sexual identity is still forming and growing, and you're trying to figure out what you like, what you don't like. So I think all of your feelings are completely normal. I don't think it's weird. I think your feelings are valid, and I think honestly the best way to handle this is to be honest and to communicate and have conversations, because the truth is there may be someone else that is experiencing the same thing. So I think sexuality is fluid. I think there's no right or wrong way to go about figuring out that part of your life. I think it's just about being free, being open, and being willing to explore what's out there. As long as you aren't, as long as you're doing it with consent, you're not hurting anyone, I think that's always the best way to go about it. So I hope that was helpful. But either way, I've had a great time answering both questions. And I'm so honored that I could take part in this.